I know, right? Video nerding out here.
I know, I know. So, but now we're live and we can actually go dig into it. I've been like chomping at the bits.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon if you're coming in from Europe. This is Nina, and I am super excited today to have on Real Talk Alex Sheridan. I should have asked you how to pronounce your last name, but
That you got it.
I got it.
You got
Okay,
it.
awesome. So, my competition, but not. So I think we're going to have a really, really, really fantastic and interesting talk today. And certainly we'll dive deep into video, into LinkedIn, into TikTok, and into all sorts of yummy, yummy, yummy stuff. So welcome to the show, Alex. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for agreeing to come on with me. And I would just love for you to introduce yourself to our audience for those people who are under a rock and don't know who you are.
So the quick rundown: name is Alex Sheridan, founder of Impacts Marketing. We're a content video marketing company that helps other companies, business owners, founders, executives turn their video content into a 24/7 sales rep for their business.
I love that.
That's a short elevator pitch right there.
That's a really short version, but it's the version that gets people's ears perk up, right? The 24.
And that's what you want:
Yes.
clear clarity, and you actually want them to intrigue. You want to intrigue them to get them to say,
Right.
"Wait, how does that work?" Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Alex, give us a little bit more context here. What is your background in LinkedIn or in video or in working with B2B?
Yeah. So, excuse me, the water went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My all good. So I spent 6 years in corporate doing B2B sales at a large multi-billion-dollar staffing firm. And so I got great experience cold calling, emailing, knocking on doors, taking territories that were underdeveloped and developing them into contest or president's club winning territories. And so sales was my game. And I was like, all right, I got this entrepreneurial itch. This is back in 2019. I got this entrepreneurial itch that I want to scratch, and I want to start my own business as a side hustle and then hopefully turn into a full time. Long story short, I did that, and I was like, I'm going to start off doing sales consulting because that's what I know. I was training other people. I had good training myself, and I'm like, I can help a lot of small companies, medium-sized companies, increase their sales because of the stuff that I know.
Yeah.
I started posting content late in video specifically, late 2019 on LinkedIn. I started with 0 followers because I had to restart a whole new profile. I didn't want to use my work profile. So I started with a new profile, 0 followers, 2019, started posting videos about sales stuff. And what I quickly noticed, Nina, was that my prospects and the people that I wanted to reach started actually reaching out to me. And the light bulb went off and I go, man, there is something with this video content stuff and something with this whole LinkedIn thing that I feel like is going to be big. I feel like this is going to grow and be even bigger than it is today. And I think more people are going to be social selling and creating videos to attract their clients versus cold calling only. Yeah. And a few months, so I went all in on that business, decided to kind of change my direction. I went all in on that business. That was January 2020. February 2020, I win my first customer. 6 months later, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice in my corporate job, and I'm doing this full time. And now I help other B2B companies attract their dream clients through video content on LinkedIn and now TikTok too.
And so the timing, I think, is really auspicious because you started right before the pandemic and then grew your company into the pandemic. And I think if anybody benefited from the pandemic, it was us people who were talking about video and social media, right?
Right, because everyone literally this is what happened. I'd have executives and business owners come to me and go, and this is March, April, May 2020 when the pandemic really started hitting and people were staying home. There was no meetings happening. The conferences were canceled. Networking events were shut down. And people looked at me and they go, I have no clue how to reach my target clients.
Yeah.
And even the phone numbers they used to call from the office, they're not at the office anymore. Yeah. And some people had cell phones, but a lot didn't. And so they looked at people like me and they were like, can you help me have my digital footprint? Can you help me get on places like LinkedIn, create video content so my customers can see me, hear from me, and I can, again, continue to attract them to become clients. Yep. So yeah, it was a big shift for us.
Yeah. I mean, for us too. I mean, we exploded in March it happened like overnight. It felt, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I was filling up group calls that faster than I could sign up people. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about LinkedIn and video in general. Like, so where you see where you see where video shines particularly on LinkedIn versus other platforms?
Well, video is, a lot of people will debate video versus text on LinkedIn. And I think both do quite well. I've posted a ton of content from both. So I think if you're a great writer, leverage your writing. But I think from a video perspective, LinkedIn is going way heavier on video, it seems, by the week. I mean, how do I know this? There's a few indicators. One, they're posting ads on TikTok. They're trying to get TikTok creators to come over to LinkedIn. There's been conversations with LinkedIn talking about how they sort of want that style on LinkedIn. LinkedIn runs ads that says, what is professionalism? And they're trying to basically change the brand of how people think about LinkedIn, which was in 2018, 19, and before that, it was very professional and it was very buttoned up and suit and tie, and you had to talk just about business. Well, LinkedIn wants to completely change that, which is why they're running those ad campaigns on what does professionalism mean. It doesn't mean you have to look a certain way. It doesn't mean you have to come from a certain background or speak a certain way. It means you need to show up in your authentic self and provide value and insights and stories and perspectives, whether that's educational, motivational, edutainment, to your audience, and make a positive impact while you're here. That's going to allow you to grow your career, grow your business, find your dream candidates or clients or whatever the case may be. That allows you to build a brand. So that's how I see video kind of evolving with LinkedIn, and even the emergence of a lot more vertical videos now. Like I posted a vertical video on Monday, and the LinkedIn news team, and by the way, the video is the X factor on LinkedIn. I was like, it's the differentiator. If you want to stand out on LinkedIn right now, you need to start posting video content because most people are not. And so you're instantly going to stand out. And then if you do it well, you're really going to stand out. Well, when I posted that video, it's interesting that LinkedIn's news team shared that video as part of their news article. And so that just showed and then another person from LinkedIn today shared my video, shared my post, and he works at LinkedIn. And I'm talking about original content versus repurposed video content, and how more people need to create original video content, not just repurposed content. So I look at all these signals and I'm like, LinkedIn is serious about video. Like if you're not getting on LinkedIn video now, you're going to miss a big opportunity.
I mean, spoken from my heart. So many questions while you're saying all of that. So quick question. Were both of those videos were vertical also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, and then, so you repurpose your videos, and that's why they're vertical, because, also for TikTok, right? So you are.
So I do both, right? So I create original videos that I'm going to post to LinkedIn and probably TikTok, potentially Reels. So I'll create original videos. A lot of them are vertical too, where I'm creating something from scratch. I'm like, I got a message that I want to share with the world or my audience. I'll create the video, and that's original content. Right. Repurpose content is taking something like exactly what I'm going to do here. Like, how many people do we have on a live? We've got a few people right now. How many people will see this? I don't know, maybe a few hundred, maybe a couple thousand. I will make sure that 100,000 people see this conversation, or at least at minimum see me talk about what we're talking about today, because I will take this raw footage of 40, 45 minutes and I will chop it up into 8 to 10 clips and then get that on LinkedIn and TikTok, and 100,000 people plus will see it. So that's the scalability from a repurpose standpoint, but I still believe in creating original content that is a tad more creative and more specific for the audience too, because that typically is going to outperform the repurpose stuff. Yeah.
And we do this exact same thing, right? I'm going to cut this up as well and use that versus also, maybe getting some new ideas for what you call original content to I actually, so we distinguish it a little differently, and I find it actually interesting how you do it. We talk about tissue videos versus legacy videos. So our tissue videos are sort of the videos that are quick one-offs that we throw on LinkedIn for one-time use and never to be used again. That we don't want to have overproduced. We don't want to have to spend too much time on those, versus legacy videos where we know they're going to have an off-the-shelf life and we might recycle them several times through. So we might think a little bit more about what is our call to action. Are we putting in timing? Are we not putting in timing? Like, we're not going to talk about the workshop on May 15th. We're going to talk about the workshop next week, right? So we just talk about it differently. But yeah, I love the original content versus repurpose, and repurpose is original too. It's just gone through a filter of editing. I would.
Yeah, it's just capturing a live event that took
Yeah.
place and then repurposing, taking clips from that original content
Yeah.
and repurposing for other channels and outlets and stuff like that. Yep.
Right. So tell me a little bit about these videos that I absolutely love, which is you in two different characters, Mr. LinkedIn and Cool Dude TikTok. How do you come up with this? How do they play for you? How do they play on TikTok versus LinkedIn? I'm very curious.
Yeah. So that whole exactly what you're talking about there is edutainment. And if you're not familiar with edutainment, what it is it's combining educating somebody or motivating something or somebody on a topic, and then you mix that or fuse that with or entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. So now the audience is watching something and they're going, this is so fun. This is so cool. I'm enjoying, I'm locked into my screen, but I'm also learning something. There's a message behind this. Like I'm figuring something out. There's some insights to this. And that's why it works so well. So it captures your attention, keeps you focused, but it also delivers a message, which is good for me because then that leads to leads in business.
Yeah.
Because there's a message behind there. It's not just me doing a silly dance or something.
Yeah.
And so I get all my ideas for those edutainment videos, whether it's LinkedIn versus TikTok, which is a personification of two things that are not human. That's why that works so well. Because when you can bring something that's not really alive, it's abstract. You bring that to life as a human being. That's really interesting for us humans. We love that, right? So that's worked. That's a series I've done that's worked really well, and it actually performs better on LinkedIn than it does TikTok. And I have a few reasons why I think that is, but those videos all do really well. I've been doing edutainment videos for years now, and they're typically my highest performing videos because there is a good message, but it's wrapped up in such an entertainment package that it actually gets a ton more engagement and attention in the social media feeds.
Yeah, I think it gives people sort of the insider look, and they can sort of chuckle at it and see themselves in it. So my theory would be, and tell me if I'm totally off base here or not, that those videos perform better on LinkedIn, because I think on LinkedIn we're kind of starved a little bit for that entertainment factor, right? LinkedIn is so very deadly serious and professional, whatever professional means to you. Whereas I think TikTok, we have so many choices of amazing, fun, crazy, quirky, high energy stuff that maybe you wouldn't stand out that much. Would that be your theory? Or
it definitely could be part of it. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I also think that just the pace at which you make videos on LinkedIn, sometimes, not always, but sometimes the pace of my LinkedIn videos is a little bit slower than I would do if I was making it for TikTok. So there's that, right? But my main focus is LinkedIn. TikTok's a little bit secondary, even though I post I post the same on both platforms and different content at times too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely that. And then I do think there is an argument to be made about there's so much entertainment on TikTok that it's easier to get lost in the shuffle, where LinkedIn, if you're posting something creative, that's kind of funny, that's got a good message. I mean, how many people are doing that? 0.00001%.
Yeah.
And people are sort of bored by just seeing text posts.
Yeah.
So when you hit the feed with an interesting and creative video, that does stand out. And that's why I think video is the differentiator, regardless of what type of video you put out there.
Absolutely. Agreed. So I do have quite a few clients who are like, oh, I think I should get on TikTok, etc. So talk to me a little bit about the demographic on TikTok and why TikTok could actually work for a business coach or a service-based entrepreneur.
What's happening with TikTok right now is, if you think about Facebook in 2000, or was it not 2000? Sorry, 2011. 12, 13, and even before that, it was just college kids. Facebook used to be just college kids. And then what happened? Well, they wanted to release it to the masses. They wanted to impact more people. They wanted to grow the business. So then it was younger people that got on it. And then as the years went on, the older demographics started getting on it. And now people like my parents in their 60s are on Facebook heavy, and they're not on any other platforms. Yeah. So if I would have told them, hey, you're going to be on Facebook in 10 years ago, they would be like, we're not getting on social media and Facebook. That thing's for kids. Now that's the only place they show up. Yeah. So platforms evolve as time goes on, unless they just die. And what you're seeing with TikTok right now is it's in an infancy stage. And I would say it's probably coming out of the infancy stage and going into a little bit more of the mature state, because what's happening is a couple things. One, people right now are consuming a lot of content on TikTok, but they're not creating as much. So like my neighbors, I was telling you before the show, they're in their 60s, all four of them that live with me right here, right next door. And they all talk about literally consuming TikTok videos almost daily. but they haven't created any videos themselves.
Yeah.
So it's very much a high consumption platform because people are like, I don't know what to put on there. I'm not that entertaining. How do I keep up? Like, would it even be any good? Where Instagram and Facebook and even LinkedIn to a certain extent, people feel like I could post a picture, I could write something out and stuff. Like I don't have to be amazing on video. So there's a little bit lower barrier of entry, but that is going to change. And it is changing as more people get on the platform and start creating content, and even specifically B2B folks. So the other stat that I want to bring out there is that the largest growing demographic right now on TikTok is the ages 38 to 50. It's somewhere right around that range. Don't quote me on the exact numbers. That tells you that the platform is getting older. It's getting more mature. More marketers are seeing this. More business people are seeing this. And they're saying, wow, this is an up and coming platform. And there's great organic reach, meaning you can post one video and it could do a couple hundred views. And then the next day you check it and it's got 25,000 views. Right. And so, and I can tell you firsthand from a B2B standpoint, I'm winning clients and generating leads on that platform. So it does work.
My next question. So how do you, I mean, how, for me, TikTok, I had it on my phone. I actually had to delete it because I was watching way too many videos.
There you go.
So how do you even, there's so many videos. How do you even stand out anymore? How do you find that client on TikTok?
Yes. So let me give you this is the biggest mistake that people make on TikTok when they first get on there. I see it happen with almost everyone. And I did it to an extent in the beginning. We get on TikTok and we think, okay, you get on TikTok and you think, I got to create trend videos. I got to do the lip syncing. I got to do something funny. I got to show me doing something silly with a sound over top of it. And what ends up happening is you don't stand out because you're a newer creator trying to do trends from other people that have already done it, that are probably better at it. And so you fail because you're trying to be someone else that you're not even that person.
Yeah.
The actual tactical thing to do, the strategic thing to do on TikTok is to pick your niche, get laser focused on that, just like you would LinkedIn or any other platform or YouTube. Get laser focused on that. Talk about one, maybe two key things over and over and over again. Make sure your profile reflects that, your bio reflects that. Why should people come to your channel? Why should they watch the next video? And then what you have to do, Nina, is take the message, and then you have to think about, how do I deliver this core message that's going to tie back into my business and my brand? How do I deliver it in a more TikTok friendly way?
Yeah.
And that's the key. And so people get lost in that. They want to do all this different crazy stuff. The reality is there's people literally on TikTok crushing it right now that talk about Excel spreadsheets, that talk about how to bake pies, that talk about LinkedIn, like me.
Yeah.
So in a lot of my videos on there are nothing crazy, but I've learned how to create a video for TikTok. There's a certain way you need to shoot it. There's a certain way you need to go about it. You need to have the title up top. You need the first 2 seconds to be an audio and a visual hook. But that doesn't mean your message shouldn't get drowned out in the noise of TikTok just because you want to stand out.
Okay, cool. So we're going back to being your authentic self and knowing how to show up and showcase yourself best. Yeah. With your message.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like it is that, but it's just, don't veer away from your business objectives and your brand. Like if you're trying to sell, some, like, let's just say you're selling like software services or consulting services.
Yeah.
Don't go on TikTok and do random funny videos that have nothing to do with your business or brand. That's never going to win you clients. Even if you go viral and you get 500,000 views, no one's going to look at you and to think that you're going to solve their problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So then that leads me to the next question. And this might be actually a really antiquated question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because it's on my people's mind. Okay. So, what I always used to ask people is, do your clients go on the platform where you are posting with the mindset of wanting to buy, or do they go with the mindset of, I just want to hang for 20 minutes while I'm waiting for the bus, doing whatever, and they're absolutely not even in a mindset or frame of mind to want to buy or want to engage with something business related? Is that like a completely antiquated way of looking at social media in general? Or is that still kind of true? And then if so, would TikTok fulfill on that promise?
My theory is that no one goes on social media platforms to buy anything. They go on there to be entertained, to be educated, to connect with other people, potentially customers, candidates, colleagues, things of that nature. So, it's not Amazon, right? So when you log on to your social media platforms and you're thinking about putting out content, you have to be really mindful of that. And that's why the content that performs best is either insightful or edutaining people or it's delivering some type of form of value to your audience. And then what that does is that triggers something in their mind that if they're close or are thinking about buying something that you offer. For example, I put out a video on LinkedIn that talks about how to use videos to convert connections to clients. That gets someone now, they weren't like logging on to be like, I'm going to go find somebody to buy from today, but they were like scrolling through their feed to see what's going on. And they see my video. Here's 3 ways that you can convert your LinkedIn videos into clients. They see that video and now they go, man, I've been thinking about doing videos. I've been thinking about getting heavier on LinkedIn. This guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. Let me check out his profile. They go to my profile. What do they see there? It's optimized. I've got testimonials on there. I'm very clear as what I do. And then they're booking a call with me saying, hey, I'd like to talk to you more. I loved your video on X, Y, and Z. Let's talk about how you guys can help our company.
Yeah. So super straightforward.
Yeah.
And I love how you make it sound so easy, which is part of the allure. So talking of that, so now you've got somebody on the hook. How do you work with your clients?
So I do 2 things. One is consulting, training, and coaching. Right. So the first thing people need is whether you're a $1 billion company, which I'm working with right now, or you're a small team or a solopreneur, you need a strategy. You need a content strategy, a brand strategy. How are you going to show up? Where are you going to show up? What's the message going to be? What's the process and system around creating content so you can do it consistently over a period of time? So that's what I work with teams and individuals on. That's my part. That's mostly me. And then the second half of our business is we've got 10 full-time employees on salary that do video editing. And then we're now doing social media management. So we'll find, a lot of people have trouble. I want to create the videos, but I don't want to edit them myself because that takes way too long. And I have trouble outsourcing because I can't find anybody reliable or that's any good. Well, we find the right editors and then we train them for 2 months and then they go through an onboarding process and then we select them and add them to our client base, whoever needs an editor at that point. We attach the right editor to the client and we've got a fit.
Awesome. Very good. So you don't do any group coaching. It's all one-on-one on the coaching side.
I do team trainings. Like right now I'm working with a large corporation where we've got 10 people in an ambassador group that we're putting all 10 people, but I don't do group training sessions and that kind of stuff. Back in the days, I did a LinkedIn boot camp and that kind of LinkedIn video boot camp, but I sort of got out of the course type stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So talking about strategy and talking about creating content for LinkedIn, where does your inspiration come from?
My inspiration for creating content, and I think if you're out there right now wondering what should I create content about, how do you come up with ideas for content? The best source of ideas that you'll ever have for content are going to come from your potential customers, your audience, the people that you want to make a positive impact on. So what I'm doing is when I'm talking to a prospect, whether it's a discovery call or I'm talking to a client and they ask me a question, whether I'm on a live event, I know we got to go through some comments here in a second. I'm wondering what people are saying. I'm wondering in the comments section of my own post, I'm literally studying this stuff. And I'm like, interesting, you said that. And I may ask a follow-up question like, hey, what made you say that? Or why are you scared to get on video? What's the underlying issue? Because if I know those things, Nina, then I can attack the problem head on in my content. And when I put out content that people are like, oh my God, you literally read my mind. That's because of those insights. That's because of those insights that I'm collecting every single day through my content, through my conversations. Then the key with that is how do you take the message and the insights and the data that you're collecting from the source? How do you take that and then turn that into a great piece of content that's going to perform in the LinkedIn feeds and the TikTok feeds?
Yeah. So talking about the comments, so what I see is kind of shoot, I should get back to video soon, right? So Sherry's in that camp, Dana's that camp.
I'm gonna get you guys
right. It's now or never.
It is like, you know what? I heard something the other day that I think is really impactful and I'll say it right now. What I would say to somebody that is saying it's not the right time, I don't have time to create content, I'm going through a lot, we've got a lot of projects, I've got things in my business. Look, if you're not going to do it now during the challenging times, meaning you're not going to start today with video content, good luck trying to do it later on when things do get challenging. It's actually a benefit to start right now because the weather is not perfect and it's never going to be perfect, right? The timing's never perfect. But if you start now and you say, I got a lot on my plate, I got a lot going on, there's some challenges, good. start now, because if you start during challenging times, it's going to be way easier later on when it's a little bit, when you're freed up and things aren't so crazy. And then guess what? When you go through a crazy part or a challenging part of your business or life or journey, you'll now have experience having creating video content consistently and building a brand consistently through tough times. So you're going to make it through that. Versus if you wait for the perfect time to create video content, and then all of a sudden you do it for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks or 2 months, and then you hit a challenge or a roadblock in your business or personal life, you're going to quit right away. So I actually encourage people to start during the challenging times. Start when you don't think you have the time.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. And they, when I started, I always felt like the big challenge was going to be to show people how to shoot themselves, not being in the room with them via Zoom. And then we kind of took that hurdle, and it was actually much easier than I thought it would be. And then came the editing, and then came the this and the that and the whatever. And in the end, really what it is all about is getting people to do it consistently and not fall off the horse at the first little bump in the road, right?
Yes. Yeah. If you're not consistent, you might as well not even put out video content or content in general. And so part of that, as is that you've got to think about the processes and the systems that you're going to build around it. Just like if you're going to get healthy, if you're like, I'm going to get healthy, lose weight, I want a flat stomach, whatever it is, you've got to come up with some type of strategy to say, all right, when am I going to go to the gym, or am I going to work out at home? How am I going to fit that in my schedule? So where it's not like taking over my day, but I can fit in 20, 30 minutes here and there. How am I going to change what I buy at the grocery store on Saturday? How am I going to change what I snack on during the day? Like, you've got to think about all these different things with content, which is why you need to build a process and a system around it. If you're constantly walking around your house and like it's 9:55 a.m. and you're like, I haven't posted anything today. Let me see if I can shoot a video real quick. You will quickly give up on that plan.
Yep. Oh, definitely. Yes. That's why I love my beautiful content calendar, because it just wants to be filled in, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah, me too. And then of course, sorry, New York City in the background.
You're good. No worries.
And then of course, the shuffling starts, right? Even better content. Let me replace that. Let me push that out.
Exactly. What else we got? Anything else in the comments to get to?
I'm just looking also.
Computer's
repurposing content. Yes. Laura, she's worked with me, so she knows all about repurposing content. And this is something that, I think really a lot of people are not aware of how much content they already have. Your sales pages, your website, all your old written posts, that's all content.
Yeah.
And that is all, if you get snackable insights from all of those, you have probably a bevy of content to fall back onto.
Yes. Yeah. And what's interesting is people will go to networking events, chamber of commerce meetings, conferences, trade shows, but then they won't spend 30, 45 minutes once a week going through a live session like this, or creating video content that they can repurpose or chop up into clips, 8 to 10 clips, and it could get seen by 50 to 100,000 plus people. Right. If I asked anybody right now on this live or listening to this or watching this, can I help you get, would you want 100,000 plus people to see you talk about your expertise, your industry?
Yeah.
And obviously that's tying back into your business. Would you want that? Everyone would say yes. And then I said, cool. All you got to do is spend 30, 45 minutes a week, take a live session, chop it up, send to editing, or just record a few videos for 30 to 45 minutes once a week. And you literally can get that.
Yep.
And that's the part where people are like, well, I don't want to do that.
Then you're going to, as you said earlier, then you're never going to be healthy, or you're never going to be, to grow your
exactly. Company. You got to remove the excuses. You got to remove that I don't have time. I don't feel like it. I got a lot going on in the business. So do I. Yeah. So do we all. Everyone does. And you always will. You always will. So it's either, yes, I'm going to do it now, or no, I'm not going to do it, but there's no excuses attached.
Yeah, no excuse attached. Absolutely. So if people want to reach out to you, I mean, obviously you're huge on LinkedIn, TikTok, etc. How can they do so?
Well, you can reach out to me definitely on LinkedIn is the best place. Send me a LinkedIn DM because I'm on there quite frequently. Alex B. Sheridan. And also I would encourage, I don't know if we're doing this right now or not, but I would encourage you guys to check out my podcast that I just started. And it's literally walking through why it makes sense for busy business owners, executives, and entrepreneurs to create content, to create video content and show up on places like LinkedIn. I'm talking through what is the ROI? How do you track the ROI? How do you create the content in the first place? How do you build those systems and processes around it? That's everything that I'm covering on the podcast, and it's going to be once a week.
Awesome. And I just put that into the chat, and probably we'll do it off the show also on LinkedIn, because I think it doesn't allow me to yeah. So just quickly before we end this, I want to talk about, because you and I were very much in sync there. You posted a call to action basically to LinkedIn the other day. What is our wish list for things that LinkedIn should do in order to facilitate video for us video creators?
Yeah. I hope they saw that, and I think they probably did, because it reached 40,000 people, and I think one of them was probably at LinkedIn at least. So, I put out a post saying that, look, LinkedIn, as serious as they are about creating this creator kind of community, and I do believe that, but they need to step it up in terms of features that we need for video creators, especially. Exactly. One of them being auto captions. If I go to TikTok right now, I press record on my phone. This is why it's so easy to create videos there. I press record on my phone on TikTok. I say something for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is. All I got to do is go on there. Once it's done, I hit the check mark. I go on the right-hand side, I click auto captions, and in less than 5 seconds, it auto captions the entire thing. I can go there and edit something if it's off if I want to, but for the most part, no one cares that it's not perfect. And boom, I've got auto captions. LinkedIn, I can't do that. I've got to go to a third-party resource or pay somebody else to transcribe the captions. And so that's one. The other thing was scheduling post. On LinkedIn, I could schedule a post for right now. As I'm on this live session, I could have that post go out. On LinkedIn, you can't do that. You need to buy a third-party software system to do it. So I just think LinkedIn needs to step up when it comes to features for creators if it's really going to be serious.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a creator community, then give them the tools that they
basic tools. Yeah, and they're owned by Microsoft. It's not like they're they should have money, technology engineers. Like if anyone can do it, it should be them.
Yeah, I would think so. And it's not only the scheduling the way through third party. You cannot even schedule videos third party because they don't allow for thumbnails and for SRT files.
Yeah, that's really tough.
So, I mean, that is my biggest gripe, is that I have to sit there. If I'm in a pod like I am at 10 a.m., I have to sit there physically at my desk with the finger on the trigger to put the stupid ass post out at 10 o'clock. In case pay a VA for it, but still, it's just like, it's so backwards. I mean, we've been able to do that with all the other platforms for years.
Right. And this is why TikTok, part of the reason TikTok's taken off, because they do put their creators first. Like another great example on TikTok is that I can make 5 videos with the copy, with the hashtags, and pick out my thumbnail, and I can save them to drafts. So coming into Monday, I literally, like, when I'm posting on TikTok, I click one button and then I hit post. Everything's ready to go. Where TikTok or LinkedIn, I got to upload the video. I got to upload a thumbnail. I got to then copy and paste my copy. I got to add the hash, like it's like this whole big thing. And like, it you should be at the click of a button these days.
One would think so, especially since this is the professional soft platform.
Yeah, it's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. I hope you're listening. All right, Alex. I want to thank you for coming on, and really love the energy and the how straightforward and easy you talk about that creation process. That for a lot of people it is sort of a mystical thing that will never be achieved properly. And I think taking away sort of the super straight-lacedness and seriousness and scariness of LinkedIn video, I think is a really, really powerful thing. So Agreed. Thanks for coming on. And is there anything I should have asked you I did not ask you?
I think we're good. I'd love to get to every question, but hit me up and on LinkedIn if you want to connect, and you got more questions, send them my way. I love talking to people about this.
Guys, you should definitely getting into the habit of watching Alex. His videos are amazing and lots of fun too, and very, very, very not just entertaining, but also valuable in terms of content. You also said you had you have a freebie something.
Yeah, if you go to my website,
Yeah.
there's actually a direct link, but if you just go to my website, it's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Impacts.com, IMP as in Paul, AXS.com. And actually, the website's down for 2 days because we're doing a rebuild. But if you go to that website, you can grab the 29-page LinkedIn 2.0 playbook. And so I talk
Yep.
about how do you set up your profile, what type of content to create, what's social selling, how do you do it. It's all in there for free.
Awesome. Very good. Guys, I'm going to put that link to the website into the show notes or comments after the show as well. Alex, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Okay. All right. See you all guys in a month again. Bye-bye.